the beauty and the wonderful features of Erudef University Institute. And why not? I want to first start by congratulating all of you who have been keen to this program, and maybe you passed your GC ordinary or advanced level. Congratulations, and we are wishing you all the best. I know you want to find out, you want to get some findings about the Erudef University Institute. This is the right time and this is the right place. I don't want you to move a muscle. Maybe you get a pen, you get a paper. When we come back after this time out, more on Erudef University Forum. Thank you very much for tuning in on today's exciting platform. This is Erudef University Forum. My name is Favor, and you are live on today's episode of the program. This is that program that talks about environmental conservation. It enlightens you on everything you want to know about your environment, and why not everything you want to know about studying the environment, studies about the environment, universities that talks about the environment. And of course, on today's platform, on today's episode of the show, we have something very exciting. I know some of you have been calling, your parents have been calling to inquire about the Erudef University Institute and the programs, the opportunities, the scholarships. I understand. I think today is that day that you're going to hear much about some of these wonderful features about Erudef University Institute. Of course, I'm never alone on the platform today. I'm here with my co-host. I'm here with Shea Sarai. Sarah, thank you so much for joining us again, and good evening and welcome to the show.
Good evening, dear listeners. It is a pleasure to be on this platform.
Yeah, always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. And when we are coming here again to talk about Erudef University Forum and Erudef University or Erudef Biodiversity University, and want to know much about the ground base as a ground based institute.
Exactly, and I think today is like, for the past weeks, for the past months, we've been talking, but people have been like, okay, they don't really know what they're going to do. Like, before anything, let's wait for the results to be out. And now the results are finally out. So I mean, it's the right time for people to make those choices. I mean, those ideas they had, like, okay, if I pass GC, I'm going to do this. I think this is the perfect time for them to make those decisions.
This is that perfect time. And I know everybody wants to hear about money. Everyone wants to hear about grants.
Of course.
No one wants to know that you're in an institution. Before you're done with the institution, you already accounted some money to do some project. It's exciting, right?
Very exciting. They say when we used to be in school, they'll tell you it is one thing to have the GCE, and it's another thing to know what to do after the GCE. Like, you could mess up, you could have your life messed up at this point in time, because at this point in time, some people are frustrated. Like, okay, what do you do? Because this is the next 3 years.
Yes.
What are you doing?
And that's why we have a guest on today's episode of Erudef University Forum. Please join me meet Mr. Kemate Divine. He is the director of HIAPS and also the dean of studies at Erudef University Institute of Applied Biodiversity Sciences. Sir, we must say we are thrilled to have you join us on the platform again.
Thank you, Madam Favor. It's once more a privilege and opportunity to be here again and to talk about Erudef Biodiversity University, which the host has said it very clear, institution that is environmentally based, purely environmentally based. So thank you for the opportunity given to me again to be on site.
Thank you very much, sir, for tuning in. And just like your last statement, you said it is purely environmental based, and that's why I think so many parents or so many students need to be thrilled. Because today we hear only about one session and people don't think about the other opportunities.
Exactly. So I think it is a field that is not exploited.
Yes.
And actually there's so many opportunities in it. When it comes to other fields, if you have 100 people battling for, in other fields you have like thousands of people. And then the jobs are just hundreds. But when you come to the environment, you actually have thousands of opportunities where the people in need are just hundreds.
Both home and abroad.
Exactly.
Okay.
Because the environment is not there are things you study in Cameroon, it limits you to Cameroon, but the environment in Cameroon is the same environment in America.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
it's the same thing. The climate might just differ and all of that, but I mean, it's the same environment, it's the same field.
The same thing about the environment, and everybody is very, very conscious about the environment.
Exactly.
Now, Mr. Dean, when we look at maybe any flyer from Erudef or any booklet like this one I have in front of me, and when you see Erudef University Institute of Applied Biodiversity Sciences, the next thing you hear is a research and grant-based institution or institution. What do you mean by that, in a summary?
Yeah, thank you, Favor, for that question. It's simple. We've come to discover that a number of students, they graduate from different universities around the country, and you see thousands of them still roaming around the streets without jobs. You see with them certificates in their pockets, they are running car parks, they are running taxis and what have you. And we are coming in to bridge that gap, because of this brand that we offer, a research and grant-based institution. That is our branding, because you are at the end of your studies. During the course of your studies, you are into writing of grants, and those grants which cumulate to being funded after your course, after probably the 2 years for the vocational training program or the 3 years for the HND program. I just made a statement that 3 years for HND program, it's quite bizarre, right?
Yeah, we mostly know of 2 years.
Exactly. Yeah, we'll see that a number of students, they leave school, but they don't really have the practice. They don't have the skills, the practical skills to continue or to be able to do something.
The theory they've learned.
Exactly.
Okay.
And that's why we come in with a third year, and that third year is purely industrial work. You are into a field.
Okay.
You are in an industry, and in that industry you learn the skills to produce whatsoever. And alongside doing that, you are writing your grants, your projects, and that project which is funded at the end of that third year. And you see that by the time you are graduating after 3 years, you have money in your account, at least 10 million francs for the HND, that you will use it to start off immediately upon graduation.
Okay, so you talk about 3 years, mentioning that the last year is purely industrial work. So for that last year, do you still get to pay school fee as a normal student, or is it like you finish with your school and now you are just practicing like internship or something?
No. When we say 3 years, it is 3 years. It means you are paying school fees for 3 years.
For the 3 years, okay.
Yes, you are paying school fees for the 3 years. But that shouldn't bother you. What is 300 or 400,000 francs compared to maybe 10 million that you have in your account after your graduation? You see that it's taking change, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, of course.
And
it is completely worth it.
Yeah, and our role at that moment is just to mentor you in the execution of that project, right down to the finish point, so that we are very confident that you will know how to generate a project, you will know how to write a grant, you will know where to submit a grant, and you know how to follow up for it to be funded and how to implement it in the field, which is the most important part of it.
Okay, so when you talk about industrial work, that brings into the question, it means Erudef must have some affiliates with industries or companies or something like that.
Exactly.
Can you please throw more light on that?
Yeah, we have a number of partners where we do send students for the industrial work.
Okay.
We have a typical example is right at Ekuna here, the Irat Ekuna. Yeah, Irat Ekuna, and a number of them that we've signed a memorandum of understanding. Yeah, and their intentions is to train them, to give them the practical skills that will help them to be able to transfer what the knowledge they have in class to practice.
Finishing as job creators and not job seekers.
Exactly.
I understand that Erudef University Institute has 4 schools.
Yes.
Yeah, 4 schools. Now,
Yes.
I want to ask: this grant base, does it cut across all the schools? And if yes, now how do you take your students through understanding how to make good use of maybe applying on grants, and how does it work?
Yeah, actually, there are 4 schools, as you did mention. We have the vocational training program,
Yes.
which is a 2 years program. There, we have 1 year intensive coursework and then 1 year industrial practice.
Okay.
And then for the higher national diploma, which I said is 2 years intensive coursework and then 1 year of industrial practice. We also have another school, the School of Fundraising and Civil Society Studies.
Yeah.
This one is purely centered on grants based. That everything about it is grants.
Okay.
You
Okay.
write projects.
Okay.
They teach you how to write projects.
Okay.
How to go through it. The method from crash to. Though it doesn't mean that it is not practiced in all the other schools. It is at the level of the vocational training.
Right.
The fundraising is still we teach it,
Yes.
but fundraising as a school,
Okay.
it's more intensive at that level compared to at the narrow level of vocational training and the higher national diploma program.
Wow. I want to find out, are there some success stories of some students who have actually received grants for some small project, or they are still working on the project? Or do you have any success stories you want to share with us and our viewers?
Yeah, it will be important for us to know that Erudef Biodiversity University is stemming from a background of an NGO, which I did say is an environmentally based NGO, Erudef, which in a few months to come we will be celebrating 25th anniversary.
Okay.
25 years of breaking
Existence.
bounds of existence. It is not just, it's not biscuit. So it means that they have stood the test of time.
Of
That's
course.
Yeah. And along that parcours, they've seen that it's a little difficult to get students from other universities who have a good background on environmental issues. And that's why last year, the chief executive officer, the founder of Erudef, Mr. Kimbe Louis, thought it wise to say, okay, it will be good to create an institution, that institution that will be able to produce the product that are environmentally centered.
All right.
And they are the students that, upon graduation, if you feel as to work with Erudef, fine. They will recruit you and then you'll be a worker.
Okay.
But if you feel that, okay, it will be good for me to go and create my own company, open my own NGO, voila, we'll still give it a go.
Wow.
Yeah. So, on that note, we just started last year, October. So, in effect, our success story lies on the mother NGO.
Yeah, who is
The mother
always there in the
who
field.
is
And
writing
I was
grants
just
and
speaking
executing
with Sarah happens to be here. She was part of the the project at Lebi Alem Highlands.
Yeah, Tofala.
At Tofala. Does that mean that students actually experience field work on daily basis?
Yeah, not actually on daily basis. Remember, I did say the first 2 years is intensive coursework.
Okay.
Is at the level of the third year that
Okay.
you
go to the field.
You do a lot of work in the field.
Yeah.
But that notwithstanding, there is a 1 month, 2 weeks internship.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that 1 month, 2 weeks internship, students, we send them to the field. We don't say, okay, go to this NGO, go to this NGO.
Okay.
Because if we send you to an NGO, your mind may be tailored towards what the NGO is doing. Yes.
Of
So
which
we
there are
want-
many other
Voila.
gaps
So
out
we
there.
want you to go to the field, go to the wild,
Okay.
look for problems, come up with monographic reports,
Mm-hmm.
and then we see how those problems that you've discovered in the field by yourself, you prioritize them,
Prioritize them.
and then we get them now one after the other. Then we see how we can shoot programs, projects for you, and by the time you are completing, oh my God, It's all fun.
You're already.
They're ready to
You
That
want
sounds
to
so
have
exciting.
large accounts.
Exactly.
It sounds so interesting
No,
because to know that you enroll into an institution
by the
and they're
time
already
you're
giving
coming
you
out-
the mindset of being a boss of your own. That's
Exactly.
a boss because you cannot exhibit the project alone. Imagine, let's say you have just a project of just small, let's say 10 million or say 15 million. You cannot exhibit that project alone. Of course, you have to employ some people. That makes you a boss, Shay. Don't you think so?
Definitely. And I think if they're able to do that, it is because of the mentorship they
Yeah.
have at school.
Yeah.
They are not just left to do whatever they are doing on their own. You know, no matter how intelligent you are, if you don't have somebody who has been there, as we will say, follow Uno road.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Follow Uno road. You know, someone who has been there, somebody who masters the game,
Yeah.
who mentors you to you know, to writing and achieving whatever project you want to.
Exactly.
That's in this truth. It's really very interesting. Now, I also want to find out. I understand that it is not just a day's work to start writing projects. I understand that in your model, it's a kind of a road or journey. Now, can you explain to our viewers how this flows? For example, a student who enroll into IAPS for the first year, and maybe the student wants to study NGO management or wildlife forestry or anything, wildlife management or anything. Now, how is a road like to get to where the student has to exhibit his or her project?
Yeah, it's quite an interesting question, and I would like our audience to be edified, to have
Yes.
kind of an idea on how things flow from
Yes,
the first
exactly.
year across to the third
Third
year,
year.
and even the fourth, fifth year, because
Okay.
mentorship is applies after graduations.
Of course.
Okay. I did say that first 2 years is purely coursework. What does that mean? In the first year,
Yes.
you have 2 semesters. At the end of the second semester, we sent you to the field for internship. And the goal, the objective of that internship is meant for you to gradually begins to feel the pains of what people are feeling in the quarters, in the neighborhood, in the community.
Okay, you are
with
not
respect
sent
to
to an
problems.
office, maybe where there's some machines or
No.
some televisions.
No.
You
No,
go
no.
to the field. That's why
you go to the field. You discover those problems, because that is the starting point.
Exactly.
Come out with those problems. Discover those problems. Put them in order of priority.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there must be a problem that is more critical, that can be more critical
Yeah.
than others. Now, when you prioritize those problems,
Yeah.
you will write a report at
Okay.
the end of the 1 month, 2 weeks program.
Okay.
You will write a monography report,
Yes.
as we do call it.
Yes.
Okay. At the end of your internship,
Yeah.
after that report,
Yeah.
second semester, you go to the second year.
Yes.
Alongside your coursework within the second semester,
Yes.
you are now the problems that you have prioritized.
Yeah.
You pick the first one,
Yes.
and then with
We
your mentor,
Yeah. We
it
develop.
begins now to drill you on how to write a grant on that problem.
Okay, so
Yeah.
does that mean like one student gets to work just on one project, or is it possible for you to work on multiple projects? Is it like when you're enrolled, you should know that at the end of the year you must write a project, or is it possible for a student to work on multiple projects?
It is very possible.
Okay.
Remember, I say the
One
problems you
problem.
discover in the field, you prioritize them. There may be 10, there may be 20.
Yeah.
And if you are a sharp student, you can write grants on all those 15 or
Of
20
course,
problems.
they are always donors.
Yes, and there will
Different.
be donors that will be ready to fund
Okay.
those projects.
Mm.
Yes.
Amazing.
So, by the time you are completing your second year, which we will a little bit hold somewhere and then intensify your coursework for you to sit down and concentrate and write your HND, you are now working, your mentor is now working on the problems, on the proposals for those problems you've discovered.
Yeah.
Okay.
You've got it. Your mentor is working on them, submitting. It's not just basically to say, okay, as you're submitting a project to this funder,
Yes.
thousands of other people
Exactly.
Well,
are
I also said
Are
the
submitting
the application.
their applications. So it's not simple.
Exactly.
You must be able to write in a way that
Can
will
you say-
convince.
That's
a
why you
donor.
spoke of, pressing issues, of course,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
there are issues and there are issues.
There
There
are
are ones
issues
that
and
are
there-
more pressing.
Exactly. So if you are able to identify those very pressing challenges, and then you put up a good proposal,
Yeah.
mind you me, it will go through.
It will go through, of
Definitely.
course, especially with the help of the mentor model like Erudef, who has
Exactly.
been in the field for 25 years.
25 years.
Because as a school of fundraising student, I understand we are taught that donations is facilitated when a mentor who has been in the field is known by the donor. Because if, for example, you have been in the field for 20 years, and so us
25
write a
years,
project.
25 years.
if you
20
want.
yeah, no, I'm just giving an example.
Okay.
I'm just giving an example, and then I'm just coming in today, and two of us write a proposal. Of course, the one will go for you because you have been
Yeah,
in the
that's,
field.
that's why you talk about your
You've been in the field for quite a
experience,
while.
your past. It matters. They're like, okay, we know this person, we
Yes.
work with this person, and if this person is able to recommend this person, it means this person actually believes in that project.
Exactly.
Now, so this takes me to another question, which is I think is very important because I want to find out from your partners. Now, how do you collaborate with the partners of Erudef? I know that we have Erudef University Institute. Now, you might have some partners and some collaborators. And how do these partners add a plus to your institution?
Yeah. As the institution, since we are just, I can call it a baby university or a baby institute, we rely so much now on the connections that have been established by the Erudef NGO. Yeah. So, as Sarah did say some minutes ago,
Yeah.
that you should follow who know the
Road.
road. So we are relying on the mother organization and Erudef NGO, who is now showing us how to go about everything.
Okay.
And I bet you,
Being in the field for 25 years, the most have had problems and they've been able to overcome them. So at this point in time, they know the right things to do at the right time.
beautiful. And that's why we are learning gradually, still depending on the partners that have been established by the mother organization. We are depending on them. While as time goes on, we will now begin to create our own
Relations.
Partners.
Partners.
Yes, which are partners of the institute,
Wow.
particular partners of the institute, especially when it has to do with writing of grants.
Writing
and,
of grants.
Yes.
I'm tempted to ask Erudef University Institute this question because it looks like your university has some kind of unique features. And when you talk about project writing, a project can be any problem, both documentary problem, a problem that you attack it using a documentary, or maybe a publications, or maybe you have to exhibit it in a community. It's kind of a wide opportunity. Now, I understand that students don't only go to classrooms, but you also help them to learn how to write grants. How do you help them to, first of all, carry that creativity? Because it takes some creativity to come up with a good idea to identify a problem and start by thinking of how to solicit for grants.
Yes.
How do you take them through that process?
That's why
Changing their mindset to think the way you think.
that's why you see there is a very important aspect that we cannot forget to talk about it.
Yeah.
Mentorship.
Yeah.
Mentorship. Very, very paramount.
All right.
Yeah, because a mentor must be somebody that has been doing it, that has been into it. He or she knows how to go about it very well. And that mentor, first of all, is there to see how he would train the student how to go about everything stepwisely, from one point to the next. Okay, at this level you need to write a proposal. In writing a proposal, what is it that takes to write a proposal? It gives you the series, how everything flows from the first point to the last point in a convincing manner, such that when a donor reads it, you say, this problem is pertinent. Let me go for this. Let me assist this community. There are thousands of problems in our community.
That's right.
Yeah. A practical example here in Buea is water. At the foot of the mountain, but Buea suffers water crisis seriously.
Then you can imagine other places.
You can imagine
where clean water.
You see waste disposal. Waste is being dumped
everywhere.
Some dumped along the gutters, carried now to the stream. Pollution in the seas. So there are 1,000 problems in the field that a student just need to identify those problems, and the mentor is there and the mentor will pick it from there and then drill you through it from the start to the end point.
Wow.
Not only at the end point, show you where you deposit those your grant, that your proposal for possible.
Because I also heard of something. There are donors, and donors. Not all donors work on everything. Like, you might be donating something to your project might be very good, but you are talking about the right problem to the wrong person, to somebody who is not working on that one. So I think that the work of mentorship, the role of mentors is very important.
Yes. At that level, the mentors, they know who and
is
where
interested
to submit what.
Exactly. Send your inquiries to.
Yes.
Wow. That's a whole good news from Erudef University Institute, and I believe that our viewers are watching and they're listening, and they will want to take the opportunity to grab the opportunity. A lot coming from Erudef University, and I assure you that this institution has a lot to offer. Don't you think so?
More than even we talk about.
You
know better when you experience it, not just from the things you hear.
Now, sir, I want to find out from you about your institution. How do you measure your impact? Yes. How do you measure your impact when it comes to grant base and students don't get the grants, they start to exhibit the project? How do you measure your impact?
Theory of change.
Okay.
Once you exhibit, you carry out a project in a locality.
Yes.
Of course, you see take for example, light. There is a project we carried out some times back, and that project had to do with electrifying a quarter. It's an island. And imagine using solar panel to electrify the quarter. Everybody has light, and you can now charge your phone. You can do what we do with light. imagine the impact on the inhabitants of that locality. They are quite excited, right?
Yeah.
That is the basis from where we start measuring our impact. How do the community feel after the exhibition of a project in a particular locality? Of course, they are excited, they are happy, they sing songs of praises, and they keep praying for Erudef. And I guess that's one of the reason why Erudef, even with the crisis, they keep standing their ground.
Exactly. You know,
Yes.
during our trip to Libya Alem, the Tofala, because
And I guess probably that was your first time of going to Tofala.
yeah, that was my first time of going to Libya Alem as a whole. So going Tofala does it. It might be a forest, but before that, it belongs to people. So you cannot be exploiting something that belongs to people without
The
giving them
community
something.
benefit.
Because at the point in time, if you are telling me not to hunt again, you should be giving me some other thing. Like instead of hunting, maybe you rather do this thing. So they have communities, and when we went there, it's been like people I've never met before. They're like, okay. Some of them they are quite old, so they're like, you guys, you came here 10 years ago, and I'm like, I wasn't even part of that team. But they still talk about it like, okay, 10 years ago, this
Okay,
people came here.
it's still in their mind. The
It's
impact
still in
is
their
still
minds,
there.
yes.
Yeah.
They'll tell you about this community hall you see here. It was burned by Erudef. Talk about because there you have, they produce a whole lot of oil, and oil is cheap. They even told you a 10 liter of oil is, or is it 20 liter was 8,000 or something like that.
Oh
So you can imagine 20 liter. So now Erudef sees that this community, this is what they are good at. They are blessed with that, and gives them oil mills. Yes, I think we visited about 4 or 5 of them.
Oil mills.
Yes, that Erudef had offered them. And then when you hear how well they speak of it, I mean,
Songs of praises.
yes, when you do something, if the people are not satisfied, then what is yours? But when you now go back and you see that these people actually, it has had impact on them, that is when you feel like, okay, you are doing something good, and you should just continue.
Exactly.
And that is just
Before you started speaking, something was coming in my mind with regards to students. We are talking about grant base, and sometimes we are looking at the problem very far from us. For example, some of us who grew up in town, we are coming from somewhere. Okay,
Exactly.
let's say I'm from Dungamandung. It's a little bit far from here. But now I was born.
It's not a little bit. It is very far from here.
So when you're thinking about a project, you only look at there, but go back to the village. You will see that there are so many
The fact that
problems.
you're here, others are seeing them. People are still living in problems, but you don't. I mean, you will not talk about it because it's not affecting you.
Yeah.
It's not affecting you. So when people just leave villages that come to town, they forget about where they come from.
Yeah. So don't you think that it is also good for you to encourage your mentors encourage your students to go back to their go back home, that there are so many of those problems
As
that
they will say,
you can
charity
find
begins
it.
at home.
Because some of them they just look at this place, everything like you want to copy, but when you go back home, you realize that the problems there are enormous.
Yes, true. Very, very true. And a practical example is a student we have.
Okay.
She Fit.
Okay.
Her problems. The first project that she wants to start working on is in her village.
You see?
It's
Good
in her
idea.
village.
Good girl.
Somewhere after Dongamatu.
Okay, Wa.
Voila. So she is going back there to execute that project when it will be funded.
Okay.
Meaning that she's in town, yes, but she's still feeling the pinch of what she went through when she was
because she has been part of that experience.
She has been part of it. She grew with it. She suffered. She saw how people were suffering. With the opportunity and the privilege that Erudef has given her to say, okay, we'll be able to train you to be able to raise at least 10 million francs.
Okay.
She said, no, I must go back and execute that
project
in my community.
My community.
Yeah, so that they should feel the impact of grants. You should alleviate them from a situation.
And then these people, like I spoke of Libya Alem. I'm trying to find the right words. These people might actually be very comfortable with the life they are living, not knowing that there's actually more to it. Yeah, do you know that? Like they might just be living there. They have their traditional way. Like I spoke of the oil mills. They have the traditional way of I don't know how they do it. Not knowing that actually there is a way this thing can be done faster, easy, that you don't need to stress that much. Exactly. So that is the need of those who have left this place. They've gone out there, discover new things for them, channel it back to this place. Like, okay, instead of doing this thing this way, we could actually do it this way. It is going to be faster, easier, and everything. Making life easy for all of us.
Yeah, as time passes, this is just the first batch.
Okay.
As time passes, probably we will make it compulsory that your internship will be carried out in your locality.
In your own locality. Some of us place because the village.
Or you talk of that, I think of somebody like myself. Like, always my village is almost out of Cameroon.
Yes, closer to Nigeria.
It's very far. To go to my village, you have to spend like 50,000.
Especially now we have the boys
at this point
in
in
the
time.
bushes.
Yes.
50,000 francs. So you can imagine how far it is.
Yeah. And
But
that's
that
the more
shouldn't stop
reason.
you to go there, right?
It shouldn't. It
No,
shouldn't.
of course, it should not.
It shouldn't.
But
The
select
road to somebody's house, they do say, is never far.
is never
never
far.
far.
It's never far. So, if you have an opportunity of saving a situation, helping your own brothers and sisters in your community
Yeah.
where
You
you
won't
grew,
even find them
Yeah.
like challenging.
you won't
so bad.
find
You
it
won't find
challenging.
challenging.
You won't. So, with time, we will make it compulsory that all students, they will go back to
Their own
villages
communities.
where
And
they
start
come
from
from
there.
and
Start
start
from
from there. Bring us
Very
problems from your area, from your locality.
Wow, the show is getting hot. It's getting so interesting. I want my guests and we want our guests to maybe cash his bread or maybe take a cup of water. When we come back, you will learn a whole lot about grants and the Erudef University. So please don't move it down. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back, dear televiewers, from that little break. And it has been hot in the studio because we are really talking about something very, very important and exciting. We are looking at a topic that it's kind of very interesting. And this is Erudef University Forum. You know, Erudef Biodiversity University is not about the four walls of the classroom, right? It's about out there, going to the field. And today, our topic of today is Erudef's grant-based model, revolutionizing higher education or transforming students into becoming pacemakers, into becoming in fact, empowering their own community by themselves. Yes, before we went on that break, Shay, we were actually excited looking at something very important, but somebody very important came in, and I think he's at the right place, the right time.
And I will say give respect to whom it is due.
Of course. We are talking about the president and founder of Erudef, and at the same time, is the founder of Erudef Biodiversity University. Mr. Kemi Luis is right here in the studio. Sir, we are thrilled to have you again join us on today's episode of the program.
Thank you very much, and it's a pleasure to be with you always.
All right, before you came, we were actually looking at a field that you've been mentoring for, can I say 25 years, Sarah?
Of course,
A
you can.
very long time, and I think you have a whole lot, but we thank God. Mr. Dean has been saying a lot of things, but now that you're here, you're going to add a plus, and you're going to add to exactly what we're talking about. We're actually looking at Erudef's grant-based model, and we understand that your institution is not just about students in the classrooms, but you have something special that makes your university unique. Now, I'm coming back to this Shay because he is the founder of the institution. So what
He carries
makes
the vision.
he carries the vision? What inspired you to come up with this wonderful model?
Yes, thank you. I'm a product of the Cameroon University system,
Right.
and I worked for the public service for a short while,
Okay.
and discovered that that's not a system that needs me. And I decided to eject myself out of that system. And basically, I've been looking at, for the last 20 years, as you have said,
Mm-hmm.
what difference can we make to the Cameroon University education system?
Wow.
I do praise and appreciate the efforts that the government has been putting to professionalize the system. But yet, the unemployment of graduates is increasing every year. Yet, we anticipate that those who graduate at the top, what I mean top means PhDs,
Mm-hmm.
should be recruiting those with first degree graduates or master degree graduates.
Mm-hmm.
But they're joining the same pool of people to sit in front of the Ministry of Higher Education, Prime Minister office, march on public roads asking for employment. Then, why is it that government has been putting a lot of efforts in terms of professionalization? So I mean there's a missing link.
Mm-hmm.
Something is absent somewhere.
Yeah.
Last year, the government instituted the university enterprise model.
Mm-hmm.
But yet, it's a positive step. But I see there's something still missing. Because the enterprise model, the way I read it, is not going to affect the totality of all the students in public schools. And not even to talk about private schools. The private schools don't even talk about research. Most of the private schools, 98% talk about making profit.
Okay.
Of course, I will not blame them,
Mm-hmm.
but what about the employment? The only missing link that is not available for graduates to become employers
Mm-hmm.
is the funding.
The only missing link
Yes.
for graduates to become employers.
To become employers
Yes.
is
Is the funding.
funding. Where is the funding going to come from?
Yeah.
I've been one or two platforms where I said government should provide funding to all its graduates, and they almost cut off my head.
This is very pretty that we are.
And I said, what does it mean? The billions of money the government is putting elsewhere,
Mm-hmm.
can that money not be prioritized to provide jobs, not necessary jobs,
Mm-hmm.
create enterprises
Mm-hmm.
for the graduates?
Yeah.
And they say government doesn't have the capacity, but yet billions have been wasted here and there. But we will not continue to cry,
To cry. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but we'll see that we can try something different.
Yeah.
Can we train our students
Yeah.
from year one through to the end year when they leave school. And by the time they're leaving school, they've acquired three things:
All right.
capacity to raise money
Yes.
and effectively raise that money, capacity to manage, and capacity to create further jobs.
Oh.
This order is needed. Or in any branch of studies, whether it's history, it's chemistry, it's whatever. We can create jobs.
Yeah.
For every student that graduates, from first degree to PhD,
To PhD.
can create jobs.
Wow.
And that is what we're bringing into the Erudef University Institute.
Oh. I think.
From HND, not even HND, diploma level, you should be
Okay.
able to graduate with 5 million francs. To start minimally. When you move to HND, you should graduate as an individual with 10 million. When you move to a first degree, you should graduate with 20 million. You move to a master degree, you should graduate with 40 to 60 million. With a PhD, you are the king. You should now begin to graduate from 60 to 100 million. That means you can recruit more decent jobs. And of course, we are asking for decent jobs every day. Who has to provide the decent jobs? It is you. Your capacity to generate that income.
Yeah.
That gives you your salary. Nobody is going to give you that salary. This is, all of this come from my years. I have studied the entire system. I say,
Alright.
what is wrong? What can we do in order to change it? And that is what the Erudef University Institute is out there now
It's out
to
there.
provide that link.
Wow.
We don't have it anywhere across Cameroon. There are a couple of universities across the world that have those models.
Yeah.
Will let us build it and let us spread it. It should not just be about Erudef University Institute. Every other private institute, public institute, if they do it, all graduates will be employed.
Of course, all graduates indeed will be employed. I think we now see the background where the inspiration came from, and it is real about Cameroon. Shay,
Exactly.
listening to the CEO talk about what can you say? Why you were University of Boya? Were you thinking this way, like graduating and there's no funding to maybe to continue your studies, or maybe having an opportunity that you get a grant that your parents will like, oh, thank God, I'm done with this person. She can now take care of herself.
No, I think when it's not only about you, the public universities in general, it's just about you having your first degree. Then, I mean, UB is done with you. Go out and live your life. Continue from there. Like they've done their part. Like from there, you can now go on. The only thing public universities will do is that they probably give you. It depends on the departments. They might give you 1 month internship.
Yeah.
So that maybe you create your connections or whatever. So that is it for you. By the time you're coming out now, you go and start practicing, but they won't let you practice that much while you're still in school.
Okay, I think so. I don't know. Somebody wrote something online and he wanted to read to us.
Yes, we have difficulties connecting, but this person says, "Hi, I'm enjoying the program, and thank you very much for talking about the BLM like that. I love this program."
And I'm jealous because she's not from the BLM. Why should she talk about the BLM like that?
Well, you
Why
can,
you about the BLM like that?
in as
This
much
next
as
time
we
talk
are saying,
about Campbell, or talk
yeah, in as
about
much as
what
we're
I've
saying,
been
we
you
should
know.
begin from where you're coming from. It doesn't mean that if it's not Campbell, I'm not going anywhere. We should be able to try new things. I
Yeah,
guess.
of course. Everybody needs to be impacted one way or the other in this our community. Now let me come back again to Mr. Louis Kembe. Say, I want to find out from you, what kind of support system does Erudef Biodiversity University offer to students to ensure their success in grants-based model?
Yeah, the support system is the model that we're calling complete, integrated, sustainable individual model, and all and all, nothing success model. What does this means? We are not going to go. I'm not going to go into details, but all we're trying to say is that we give the student the entirety of what it takes in order to get the project and the grants that are needed for that student to become an employer at the end of his or her training. That's why I said we are branding them as the seeds of future employment because we are growing in them
Yeah.
the potential to become employers, entrepreneurs. So the logistics we provide is integrated. It's not just one. The student needs to be supported from the classroom. We have 4 levels of knowledge acquisition we are trying to push through at the Erudef University Institute. 1, the common academic knowledge, theoretical knowledge that is given in all universities. 2, the applied technical knowledge that is also being given to from a couple of universities. Sarah was just talking about a few months of allowing students to go for internship.
Yes.
We moved to the industrial practice, where up to master's level, we see universities offering 6 months. In 6 months, or 2 months, or 3 months, that student cannot acquire anything for real. And then, our industrial practice here is going to be 12 months.
12 months.
Yes. What does
That's a
student?
year.
That's it.
It's closer to what the medical school is providing to their students.
So I'm not cutting you short.
Yeah.
Time is almost, but I want you to answer this question before we go. Now, the dean said something. He said that the how do you call it? The internship program is not to go and sit maybe in an NGO or maybe in an office. You go to the field. That's where you do your maybe your internship. Now you're talking about 1 year or 12 months of industrial
Industrial work.
industrial work. Now at this level, where would the industrial work be like? Where will it take place? Is it the same field or maybe some company or some industry?
Yeah, we are an environmental organization, and I would like to tell the world that I'm also inviting them that in December of this year, Erudef shall be celebrating its Silver Jubilee. It's 25 years of existence.
Yeah.
What does it mean? We have constructed an elaborate network of partners
All right.
and nature-based laboratories where our students will conduct their internships.
Wow.
We are not building a structure where students go and sit in an office. Graduates are not supposed to be office-based. So we have that from Cameroon, across all the regions of Cameroon. We're extending to West Africa, we're extending to East Africa, we're extending to the oceanic islands in the Gulf of Guinea.
All right.
Our students will find the opportunity to inside these places.
Wow.
We are an environmental organization, so our laboratories are not office-based laboratories. They are nature's reserves, national parks, sanctuaries, biodiversity hotspots, nature-based. Go spend your time there and spend 12 months of good enjoyment to build your projects.
To build your
So,
project.
since our time is run out, I just want to say this.
Yeah.
Our students who come into the Erudef University Institute,
Yeah.
we have this target. We need to train you as a manager to run your own institution. So by the time you graduate, you have created your own organization.
Wow.
When you go to the field, as the dean will have said already, we are now asking you to build your own projects that you will use to run that organization you have created. And then we provide you with the extreme source of funding. We are building a very elaborate database of funders across Africa.
Wow.
And every graduate, apart from having your 10 million or 5 million or 30 million, we will give you another set of database that keeps you going. And we are creating a alumni network.
Yeah.
We are going to be providing every year 4 sessions to rebuild your capacity. We need to have people
We need it.
who are not willing to leave Cameroon because there are no jobs. Good. We are creating you in such a way that Sarah should be able to travel to India, Germany, France, back to here, and keep going.
Be comfortable back
Yeah.
here.
Get the money that you need as an income.
Yeah.
Not that you say, I want to go to America because they are paying. And you jump to America and become a nurse. Everybody wants to become a nurse. Everybody wants to become a security officer. Who are those who want to become researchers, engineers, technology specialists? But we want to cash money. What I see people doing is called cash money. Cash money. because you probably think you have no other alternative. Why could I not become like me? Because me, I mean, a few of us across the continent, we say Africa is for Africans. We need to create jobs. We need to create opportunities. Instead of going, let those white men come here and get the jobs from
Get the
us.
jobs from us.
Yes,
So we have to use
It's
everywhere.
very possible.
Our forests, their jobs in our forests, our seas,
Africa,
mangroves.
yes,
their jobs
is the
everywhere.
richest continent in the world. Yet we're the poorest because our politicians decided to make it as such. But we now are saying that politicians, if you don't want to leave the power, stay there and do what we are doing. We want to transform it.
We want to transform it.
Yeah.
Wow. So we
Yeah.
wish you we just be talking and talking. Our time is almost up. But I want the dean I want the dean to give his last words with this last question. Now, Mr. Dean, what advice would you give to students considering IAP's grant-based model for their education? What last advice would you give them?
Yeah, first of all, I want to congratulate all of those that have made it for the GC advanced levels. Congratulations to you. Erudef Biodiversity University is opened. Admissions are opened at the institute, and mind you, your choice of Erudef University, I can say, should be the best, because we are not just going to train to you and throw you out as other universities are doing. We are going to transform you. We are going to build your capacity to become employers.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Dean, for those last words. I'm coming back again to the Mr. Lewis KB. Maybe, sir, you want to some last words for our viewers before we go. Mr. Lewis, some last words.
Okay. I think we are in August, and our next sessions will be starting in October. Next academic year, and I think it's just best to say that we're inviting. We're not interested in recruiting 100,000 students into our system, because the best model mentorship universities, we're a mentorship university. This is one thing that I'm not sure we're stressing out. Mentorship universities don't recruit hundreds of people for the purpose of making profit. Our grant-based system only provides the opportunity where we can make the resources available to do what we want to do.
Yeah.
And consequently, the world, the students, parents should know that we are interested in a small number of people who will create the change we need. So we're inviting the best products who are willing to become entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs, the day you leave school, you become entrepreneurs, you become employers. If you are ready for that, then the Area University Institute is the place for you. And we're waiting for you as from tomorrow, even as we speak.
Yeah.
And we're organizing our boot camp
Okay.
starting tomorrow.
Okay.
Please come and listen, hear a lot more from us. We are also partnering with the National Employment Fund
Wow.
to create more opportunities for people who have not understood what our model is. The more you listen to us, the more you have a face-to-face interaction, the more you become more interested.
Focus.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Mr. Seal, for those last words and the wonderful information that is coming up concerning the podcast. Now, we are wrapping up. Your last words to our viewers before we go.
Well, as the CEO will say, we are not interested in what's the word? We are not interested in having thousands of students. We are interested in the few who are willing to work. And of course, if you want to have more information, the boot camp starts tomorrow from 8:30, and we are very much ready and willing to have all of you.
Yeah, indeed, we are willing to have more, all of you join. Please, just to note that some of you have been writing to me to find out the program about the bootcamp. It's tomorrow, just like she said, starting tomorrow 8:30. It's going to be so impactful. A lot of things are going to be taught in this year's bootcamp. And some of you told me, Auntie Favor, I'm actually doing a holiday job. Yes, even if you come from the third day, all right, we welcome you. We understand that some of you are engaged in one holiday job, or maybe you went for holidays, come even the third day, you will still catch up with the others who are actually already in the bootcamp session. Now, I want to say big thank you to Mr. Dean for coming, the Dean of Erudef University Institute. Thank you, sir, for joining us again today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, and I'll be very available
Thank you.
subsequently.
All right, you're welcome, sir. Thank you so much for squeezing your tight schedule to be with us again on today's episode of the show.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And so, right, thank you too for being there always to co-host the program with me. It's always a wonderful time when we are together.
It's a pleasure, and until we meet again.
Televiewers, it's on this wonderful note that we say goodbye on today's episode of Erudef University Institute or Erudef University Forum. And I want to say a big thank you to the broadcaster who made sure that this whole program moves on smoothly. Not forgetting the entire team of ITV. Thank you so much. And to those of you who are watching this show, writing us online, thank you so much for being there. Hopefully next Monday, 5 p.m., we'll be here again with a fresh episode of the show. Please, if you have any inquiries about Erudef University Institute or Erudef Biodiversity University, please, just the numbers on your screen, write to us and we'll respond to you. Thank you so much again once more for being there. Have a wonderful week. Shalom.